Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and it is now the 1st of March, so it's time to discuss my February reads and my March hopefuls. So unfortunately I didn't get through all the books I wanted to read in February because February is a much shorter month by like 2 or 3 days, but that's okay. I only read 4 books this month. 2 of them were rereads and 2 of them were new books, and I don't have all of them, but these are the books that I read in February. I finished Hooked by Ellie McIntyre. I read that for one of my book clubs, and I loved it, obviously. I absolutely loved it. And then I went and finished A Court of Mist and Fury, which is obviously a reread. I am trying to read the Sarah J. Maas universe this year, so I'm rereading ACOTAR and then going into Throne of Glass. So obviously I finished A Court of Mist and Fury and then immediately started A Court of Wings and Ruin. Obviously, there's not much to say about this book. It's a masterpiece, and if you're just starting ACOTAR and you read the first book and unsure if you should go to the second book, let me tell you, yes, read the second book, because this opens up so much more to the whole Prythian ACOTAR world and makes you want to continue the series even more, because it introduces you to more characters, which I absolutely love. Anyways, I finished ACOTAR or A Court of Mist and Fury, and as I was reading this book, I was also reading The Final Offer, which is the third book, the last book of the Dreamland Billionaire trilogy by Lauren Asher. And let me just say, people said that all my friends and everybody I am friends with on Goodreads said that Terms and Conditions was their favorite book. Let me just tell you, this was my favorite book of the whole trilogy, and it really hooked me into being a Lauren Asher fan. So I'm so excited to finish reading the Dirty Air series, which I've started last year. So I want to finish that this year as well. But anyways, I love Cal and Elena, and I love it. I love this book so much. That's all I have to say. And then I put on my poll on my Instagram and my TikTok asking if I should read Hexed next or Credence, and everybody was saying Hexed, so I started it. Now let me state that I did not hate it, but I just preferred other books in the series. I don't know. I wasn't in love with the audiobook either, and I was listening to that. The audiobooks are what I use majority when reading books right now, just because I'm driving a lot back and forth for work. So I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I wasn't in love with it. So that could be the reason why I didn't enjoy this book as much. So I do want to reread it eventually. But I did love Enzo and Vanessa. Like I said, I didn't enjoy this book. It wasn't my favorite month, and not my favorite in the series, but I'm willing to reread it. Okay, time for my March hopefuls. So I don't have the physical copies of a lot of these books, but that's okay. But like I stated earlier, I have started rereading A Court of Wings and Ruin. So this is on my March hopefuls. Following this book, I also have A Court of Frost and Starlight, obviously continuing onto the series. Now, I'm currently also reading one of my book club books, As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. I'm currently listening to that. I'm like halfway done, and it's so good, but that's a hopeful. The other hopeful is The Poppy War, and that's also for one of my other book clubs. I'm actually really excited to read this book. I'm so glad it was suggested and picked for this month because I've actually been wanting to read it for so long. It just hasn't been the time. I guess now is the time. And then obviously, like I mentioned earlier, Credence is on that list just because I'm curious. I am very curious. You know, I have a friend, she likes to read too, and she read it and she enjoyed it. So I am trusting her judgment, and I am going to read Credence. And then lastly, it's gonna be the second book of the Butcher and Blackbird series or trilogy. I don't know what it's actually called, but Leather and Lark by Brianne Weaver. I love Butcher and Blackbird so much, so I'm so happy to finally continue on to the series since all 3 books are out now. So I'm gonna read Leather and Lark after, hopefully when I get done with Credence, which will be after I get done with my book club books, because those are priority. Yeah,